Hello and welcome to Monday Morning KAKAKI Sports. I am Sembi Shima. Today on the show, we will be discussing grassroots football and its effect on global football. But before that, it is congratulations to Nigeria's sole representatives in the CAF Continental Competition this season, Rivers United, for progressing to the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup stage. The Pride of Rivers did this by defeating Group C leaders Dreams FC of Ghana 2-1 in the final match day at the Nest of Champions Uyo to book their place in the continental competition for the second time in a row. Here's a full report of how that happened.
Rivers United filed out against their Ghanaian opponents, having two missions to achieve in one match. First, birth a quarter-final ticket, and secondly, restore Nigeria's slot in the Continental Club football of 4 slots, 2 in the Champions League and another in the CAF Confederations Cup. United Deputy Echeta restored parity on 61 minutes. After persistent pressure from Rivers United, the Camel's back was finally broken in added time. Is that it finished 2-1 in favor of Rivers United. The implication of that scoreline is that Rivers United has qualified for the quarterfinals of the 2023-2024 CAF Confederations League. From the Nest of Champions in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital of Mofoma Ebari.
Again, congratulations right there to Rivers United. But welcome back. Like I told you earlier, our focus this morning will be looking at the investment and development of grassroots football, what it means and why it is important to the growth of football globally. And joining me this morning to do justice to that, this conversation is the Benue State FA chairman in person of Barrister Paul EDEH.
Thank you for
Barrister
having
Paul,
me.
good morning and welcome to KAKAKI Sports.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I want you to, Rivers United have done us proud on the continental front again. At this time around, we hope that they don't just get to the quarterfinals and get out. They move to the next level. But again, you're here to talk grassroots football, and since we're talking about Rivers United, let's dive right into it because of time. Rivers United has again also won the maiden edition of the NPFL Youth League. Let's hear from you. Tell us, throw more insight to that league, because personally, I have knowledge of it, but most people will be wondering, what's NPFL Youth League? So let's start with that. Give us an insight of what that means.
Well, the NPFL Youth League is an initiative of the chairman of the NPFL, Right Honorable Benga Elegbeleye, to see how we can develop young talents that would transit from the grassroots level, from the age grade tournament level, to the mainstream. Because over the years we have had situations where it is difficult for you to find young players transiting and getting into the mainstream. And of course, in order to avert this, he has insisted, and the board of the NPFL insisted, that there is need for us to begin to have this age grade tournament. Of course, you know that hitherto before now, we have the youth under 15.
Yeah.
But
Remo Stars
won that one.
Yes.
And of course, this maiden edition, we had 5 zones across the country. Of course, you may ask, why don't we have 6 zones?
Yeah, because we have 6 geopolitical zones. Yeah. So what happened to the other one?
Of course, you know, we have 20 teams in the NPFL. And of course, in order for us to coordinate better and also have an effective tournament, it was zoned into 5. And of course, I headed the Lafia zone.
All right, so talking about the participating teams, let's be precise about the numbers. You said 5 geopolitical zones, 20 teams also, that means 20 teams participated in the NPFL Youth League. So how was these players picked? Because I know for sure that not every NPFL club has a youth team. So how were these players picked to participate in this maiden edition of this tournament?
You see, when the chairman of the NPFL first brought up this idea, a lot of teams did not give him any chance. So, of course, they found it difficult. But a lot of the teams went to the grassroots teams that are already in existence to be able to pick these players. But you agree with me that a team like Remo Stars that already had this age grade players came, and of course they did well in their zone and they ended up qualifying. A team like Lobby Stars also have, but most of the teams did not have. They just went to different academies to bring together the players, and that's why you see that they didn't perform well. But I think moving forward with what the chairman of the NPFL has done, it is a tournament that is now rooted in every club. So the next edition is going to commence immediately after the NPFL league season.
All right. Still talking about grassroots development, I know that there's so much emphasis when it comes to the male teams, but are we going to have this sort of youth league in the female category? Because the NWFL, as we know, it's the major women football league here in the country. But we're going to have something like this replicated in the women's league.
Now let me state this: the NFF has actually taken the bull by the horn. Just last week, the NFF technical department wrote to all the state FAs to come up with their youth under 15 and youth under 17 teams, so that when those young lads, of course, the youth under 15 or youth under 17 is both for male and female. So each FA is meant to come up with programs that would ensure that we adapt a league format wherein we'll have these players selected so that they can easily transit to the national under 15, national under 17. So I think that the NFF has already taken the bull by the horn, and the NWFL is equally doing the same thing when it comes to the women flank of the game.
Hopefully you get to see that. But now still talking about the NPFL Youth League, I saw that ambassadors were given for this league, talking about ex-internationals. Let's hear about those ambassadors and what role would they play when it comes to the development of these young lads.
You see, the NPFL board, led by Right Honorable Benga Elegbeleye, when it took this decision that they wanted this league, they wanted those who have benefited from the youth game, and that's why you see all the ambassadors that were carefully selected were those who emerged from under 15, under 17 to become global champions, and he felt the need to be able to bring them so that these the ambassadors become more or less like icons to these young lads. And of course, you see, so one thing that played out in Benin City is the fact that every time you have player of the match, you have the best player, most of these ambassadors came out to be able to give awards, and you could see the excitement in these young boys who are now able to think that tomorrow I can become one of these global icons. So I think that the idea is to ensure that these young lads know or understand that this youth game is one that can actually take them further. Now, there's also something very critical. Some of these young lads were also scouted by their main teams to transit to the main team.
That's the senior team.
They are the senior team. So I think that on the whole, this has been very effective. And of course, all through in Benin, you also notice that, of course, if you were there, you'd have noticed that the director of technical, Austin Egwavon.
If you had called me and sent maybe a flight ticket, I would have come.
Austin Egwavon was there all through. And of course, in moving forward, he had also assured that most of the under 17 players, national team players, the male category will be selected from these young lads. All
right, just before we go quickly, time is up, but motivation we know is very important in football. And then what kind of motivation are these players getting in terms of money now, prize money? Like for Rivers United, who have won the maiden edition, what is attached to this cup? Let me hear that.
You see, first off, it must be understood that the youth on the NPFL youth under 17 is not about the money.
Yeah.
You know, we have a situation where over time we throw money at these young boys, such that they do not realize that it is their talent they should first be after at this embryonic stage. So the focus for the NPFL really is not about the prize money. And by the way, all the teams that participated got 1 million naira participation fee. And I think that for me is a huge encouragement for the players. And of course, they would not have gotten the opportunity to be showcased they were. I saw Barrister Green almost pulling off his singlet. That shows that Rivers United winning the maiden edition, the investment made by the Rivers State government actually paid off. And I think that moving forward, this is going to be the real deal.
All right, this is going to be the real deal. I like to keep taking from there as our cue to close the show this morning. But thank you so much, Barrister Ede, for coming on to give us more insight when it comes to the new league, talking about the Nigerian NPFL Youth League. All right, so but that's the much we can take on KAKAKI Sports this beautiful Monday morning. Thanks for watching once again. I am Simbi Shima. Once again, congratulations to Rivers United, both for winning the Youth League and qualifying to the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederation Cup.